The long-awaited release of documents tied to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has left many survivors, lawmakers, and observers frustrated rather than reassured. By law, the US Department of Justice was required to make all Epstein-related materials public by the end of last week. But when the deadline arrived, only a portion of the files were released and many of them were heavily redacted.
I know you want to move past all this intrigue over the Epstein files, but I do want to ask you to clarify something you said this morning. You said this was all a hoax. Has your attorney
It's a big hoax.
told you this was a hoax? What evidence?
No, it's not the Attorney General. No, I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him. And it's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier. That turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats are good for nothing other than these hoaxes. They're bad for policy. They're bad for picking candidates that can get elected. Like in New York, we have a communist running. He may get elected too, actually, but he'll destroy the city. It's I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements, we've had a great gentleman yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including the Middle East. I mean, you see it. Instead, they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people. Yeah.
For survivors of Epstein's abuse, the moment was deeply disappointing. We just want all of the evidences of these crimes out there. Survivor Liz Steen told the BBC, reacting to the limited disclosure. Steen said the Justice Department appeared to be, in her words, brazenly going against the Epstein Files Transparency Act, the law designed to ensure full public access to the records. Another survivor, Marina Leseda, who was 14 years old when she says Epstein abused her, echoed that concern. She said many survivors remain nervous and skeptical about the remaining files, which will be handled now by the DOJ. Among the materials that were made public are several images and documents that quickly drew attention. One photograph shows Epstein's longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, outside Downing Street in London. Another document claims Epstein introduced a 14-year-old girl to then businessman Donald Trump, that too at Mar-a-Lago. There are also multiple images of former US President Bill Clinton, along with photographs showing the interiors of Epstein's properties, his overseas travel, and a range of high-profile public figures. Those pictured include Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, Mike Jagger, Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, and former UK Labour politician Peter Mandelson. Importantly, officials and legal experts stress that being named or appearing in these files does not imply wrongdoing. Many of the individuals' identifications have denied any involvement in Epstein's crimes, and neither Donald Trump nor Bill Clinton has been accused of Epstein's victims or criminal records. Still, confusion deepened when at least 15 of the released files disappeared from the Justice Department's website within a day. According to the CBS, one missing file showed a desk covered with the framed photographs, including images of Bill Clinton and the Pope. In an open drawer, there was reportedly a photo showing Trump, Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell together. Another missing file allegedly included images of rooms containing messages, tables, and nude artwork. Deputy U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche said the department had identified more than 1,200 Epstein victims or their relatives and withheld material that could reveal their identities. The DOJ says it redacted content depicting sexual abuse, physical abuse, classified material, or anything that could jeopardize ongoing investigations or national security. In a letter to judges overseeing the Epstein and Maxwell cases, U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton defended the approach, arguing that even redacting faces in photographs was necessary to protect potential victims given the difficulty of identifying everyone pictured. Meanwhile, lawmakers who paused for the release are escalating pressure. Congressman Ro Khanna called the disclosure incomplete and warned of possible consequences if the Justice Department fails to comply with the law.
The Justice Department's document dump this afternoon does not comply with Thomas Massie and my Epstein Transparency Act. They released one document from a New York grand jury of 119 pages, totally blacked out. This despite a federal judge ordering them to release that document. And our law requires them to explain redactions. There's not a single explanation for why that entire document was redacted. We have not seen the draft indictment that implicates other rich and powerful men who were on Epstein's rape island, who either watched the abuse of young girls or participated in the abuse of young girls and the sex trafficking. The reality is Pam Bondi has obfuscated for months. She first said there were no more documents to be seen. Now she's admitting and releasing hundreds of thousands of documents, but it is an incomplete release with too many redactions. Thomas Massie and I are exploring all options. It can be the impeachment of people at justice, inherent contempt, or referring for prosecution those who are obstructing justice. We will work with the survivors to demand the full release of these files, to demand justice for the Epstein class and accountability.
The White House, for its part, has defended the administration, calling it the most transparent in history and saying it has done more for Epstein's victims than previous governments.
Yamiche, good to see you.
Hi, good. Thanks for taking my question.
Sure.
The president showed a video that he said showed more than 1,000 burial sites of white South Africans that he said were murdered. We know that that was not true and that the video wasn't showing that. So I wonder, why did the president choose to show that?
What's not true, Yamiche?
It's not true that the video was showing a burial site. It is unsubstantiated that that's the case.
No, it is true that video showed the crosses that represent.
Which is what the president claimed.
The video showed images of crosses in South Africa about white farmers who have been killed and politically persecuted because of the color of their skin. And those crosses are representing their lives. Those crosses are representing their lives in the fact that they are now dead and their government did nothing about it. Are you disputing that there's no...
I'm disputing the fact that the video showed what the president claimed it showed because it did not show that. But even more, what I'm asking you is who at the White House...
No, it did show that. It showed white crosses representing people who have perished because of racial persecution.
Verifies the videos that the president shows? And what protocols are in place when there's unsubstantiated information being put out for the world and world leaders to show?
Yamiche, what's unsubstantiated about the video? The video shows crosses that represent the dead bodies of people who were racially persecuted by their government. In fact, the Associated Press, of all places, has a picture of that very monument, and the caption from the Associated Press is, "Each cross marks a white farmer who has been killed in a farm murder." So it is substantiated, not just by that video and the physical evidence that everybody saw on display in the Oval Office, but also by another outlet in this room, the Associated Press. So you should take it up with them if you believe the claim is unsubstantiated, and that's a ridiculous line of questioning.
With thousands of documents still unseen, missing files unexplained, and redactions raising fresh doubts, the Epstein case remains unresolved, not just legally, but morally.